Rick, how about the resilience of your group tonight, down at 2 different occasions? You come back and find a way to win the game.
Yeah, that's what the key part is. Lately, we've been down a little bit, and I just thought there wasn't a lot of panic on the bench. Power play was great tonight, got us back in the game. And then there was a lot of different individual efforts. Yeah, obviously a team effort, but there's some certain guys I thought played really well tonight. PK was, and you know what, even though we gave 2, the PK in the third was big. That's a big PK we killed off. Sometimes it's not going to go your way, but you need those moments, and that was a big moment for us.
You saw the guys wearing the T-shirts for Connor in his 400th game. First of all, his performance tonight, what did you like about his game? Second of all, to have a veteran player do something like that, lighten the room a little bit at this time of the year, what does that mean?
Well, it's a great team. You know, when we had a meeting today, and I was like, what are these T-shirts? I had to look. They had 23 guys got Garge T-shirts on. That's pretty cool. Yeah, he was terrific tonight. You know, he drove play, a lot of shots. He was buzzing, and you know, scores goals around the net. He's getting hit. I think he might have a cut lip there. So that's his Garth. He's a greasy guy.
Greasy.
Not his hair. His hair is not greasy.
Rick, at this point in the season, to be able to have a third period like you did there, how satisfied are you with the group in a 1-goal game having a third period like you had?
Yeah, these are big tests for you. It's you know, Stanley Cup champs over there, and you know, we had a really good third. These are the moments that you look for as we go forward. You know, you got to be calm, and you know, when the pressure hits, you got to be calm. Even at the end, you know, there's some tense moments, but I thought we did a nice job.
We've heard coaches a lot talk about when there's that many penalties, it sort of disrupts the flow. Do you think your team gained some from the flow, a little bit of the special teams?
Yeah, I mean, I could see there was a lot of, when we were down 2 and we got that power play, I could just tell the power play, it was like, okay, here we go. Like, they just wanted to grab it, and they seized it, and getting those 2 big goals. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Bruce Cassidy's the same way. You don't want a lot of penalties, both sides. It does disrupt, and you really got to manage the bench differently. But that's part of the game. You know, there's a lot of penalties. Sometimes the flow game, you got to make sure if the flow's not there, you got to be ready to go. So even guys that don't get out on the special teams, your next shift is huge, and I think that's being just a team guy.
You said this morning that you thought Petey's been coming in the last couple of games. Third period tonight, he made some key defensive plays, was in front of the net on some screens and some power play goals. Just how important was this for him tonight?
Yeah, I think the key for me is his net front was terrific. I mean, I think he was in net for all 3 goals. It's hard to be in front of the net taking ass kicking, right? And I thought that's the key. Some nights you're going to have to be in front of the net to get to do something. Some nights you might be you might get a 2-on goal. Some nights you might be blocking shots. Whatever it takes, you know. And I thought he did whatever it took to win tonight. Just not him, everybody. It was the whole team.
You mentioned, I think, in your first answer, you know, kind of acknowledging that maybe things haven't gone as well as you want as a group in the last couple of weeks. Can you kind of overstate this win? You know, this checked a lot of boxes for you guys and probably gives you a window here to feel good about yourself for a little bit.
Yeah, I just don't think it's been that bad the last couple of weeks. I thought you know, I know the score doesn't look good sometimes, but I still think there's moments in games where, you know, we'd have 4 or 5, 6 chances. They would go down and they would get a goal, or they get a big power play going, and then all of a sudden you're chasing the game. You know, the same thing. Got a penalty early. It's just I mean, it drove me nuts having that penalty early again. It's like the 5th straight game where we get a penalty in the first 2 minutes. But we had some resiliency on that.
Rick, 400 games. I mean, it's not 1,000 games or anything, and I'm sure he was a little embarrassed by the T-shirts, but you've coached him for a lot of those, including sort of the first ones, given his size, given sort of a 5th-round pick, his second time through the draft. When a guy like that manages to make it to 400, do you look at it differently, especially when you've had a front row seat to so much of their career?
Yeah, well, I think I coached him about it must be 300 and something, right? I mean, I know Garth really well. You know, the players kid me that, you know, he's my favorite, you know, the teacher's pet type of thing. So there's a little bit of fun there. Millsy always busts my balls about that. But yeah, I've known Garth for a lot of, a lot of his career in the NHL. That's who he is, right? He's a small guy that plays big. I mean, that's second goal. Like, where is he? Right in front of the net. And he had to change his game from the minors. He was a point getter, like a high, but he had to change his game into being a more complete player. And I think I told you the story with Gars where we were it was with Arizona, and I told him when we were in practice, I said, "You're not a 17-minute player. You're just not." And he looked at me, he goes, "Well, you better make me one." And I thought that was a big part of, when a player says that to you, and it helped my career. Like, to be honest with you, yeah, you're right. I have to help you out. So we have a good bond, me and Gars, and he plays really hard for me. He really does.
With that 3-1 goal, so you've got the tripping penalty, they go up 3-2, excuse me.
Yeah.
It seemed like after that, you guys maybe strung together 25 of your best minutes in a few weeks. Maybe a season, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Does it matter to you that your group was able to sort of park it in multiple instances today?
Well, you're going to have to. If and I hate to use 3 weeks from now, because I don't even want to talk about 3 weeks or 2 weeks from now. There's going to be times where it's not going to go your way. It really isn't, and bad things are going to happen, and you got to be resilient, and you do have to park it, and you need individual efforts from some guys to help you park it. I thought a guy like Mikheyev, I thought he was terrific tonight. I thought he really gave us a lot of juice tonight. So, we get him going. I thought his last couple of games have been good. If I can get him going, the next couple of weeks, it's going to be huge for us. So, those are the individual efforts you're looking for when you do park it, like you said.
You talk about parking it, but at the same time, you now have that reference point. Your team has that reference point of knowing that they can get the job done when they're down a couple of goals early in the game, though, right?
Yeah, like I said, yeah. You have to, if you want to go far, you're going to have to come from behind, and you're going to have to do special things. And that's just the way it is. You can ask Vegas last year. They've had to do a lot of special things to win. So, yeah, and like for me tonight was a good team effort, but we're a day-to-day, game-to-game. Now we just got to, enjoy it tonight, but then tomorrow we got to get ready for Arizona because, as a coach, you're worried about a letdown game, right? So we got to be ready for that game.
The other thing you talk about is in the playoffs, you got to score ugly goals. You just got to get people in front of the net, shoot pucks from the point. What's it do in terms of reinforcement for the group tonight to get goals like that and say, hey, you know what, this can work? They all don't need to be pretty, right?
No, you're right. And those are the big goals you got to get. Like, I just mentioned 5 minutes ago about Petey being in front of net for those 3 goals, like being a big net front. Sometimes it doesn't matter who you are, you're going to have to go to the net, and it pays off, definitely.
We've talked a bit about the relative lack of playoff experience in some of the core players on this team. Do you think that makes a game like tonight with that atmosphere at home even more important?
Yeah, this is kind of a little dress rehearsal, a little bit to what's going to come. And I think that, we talked today this morning to embrace this thing, embrace the pressure and the noise and all the good things that come with it. Like, don't hide from it. And I just thought tonight, we met it. We met pressure with pressure. It's a good step in the right direction, but listen, we got a long way to go. It's just one of these games that you're happy with the team, and then you get ready for tomorrow.
You also speak a bit about Seelovs in a game like this.
Yeah.
Maybe the start wasn't what he wanted, but turned it around and got the win.
A lot of character. Didn't go his way. Him hanging in there. Obviously he's been in some plays big games. The world champ for Latvia. He has whole country. It's not. Maybe. It's going to get the pressure and stuff like that. But I thought there was I forget the 2 games he played. He's playing the Stanley Cup champs. Things don't go as early, but he hung in there. Because it says a lot about the character of the kid. Got to be really happy for the kid.
Rick, when you came here, you saw a lot in Brock, a lot of potential. How impressed are you by the way he has embraced becoming a more complete player, playing on the inside, and on a lot of nights being the answer and not a hindrance and hitting the 40-goal mark?
Yeah, just what he come back from this summer. He's got 40 goals. That's hard to score in this league, 40 goals. And I got to be honest, he was a little banged up for the game. And, he played. And that's what I'm proud about. I think that it inspired the team a little bit. Wasn't anything bad, but it was just something that to see him go out there and score that big goal, this fourth goal. I think a lot of guys were happy for him.
I think you're gonna have to spend all these.
Generational talent. Thanks for liking the video and subscribing.